Good morning from Sicily.
Hello.
And today we are starting olive picking season.
Yeah, well, every year we have to do it. So this time of the year it's a little bit hot because the olive, they were waiting for the rain. Now they are ready, they look mature, but I gotta say by experience it's a little bit harder to pull it off. Of course, I mean they are healthy plants. We hope to have a good harvest, at least to make olive oil for
us as a family.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are starting with my father-in-law, his dad, and he's like still working in a garden, finishing you planting celery today.
Yeah, because we have only time in the weekend, so...
Yeah, we have time Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so we started yesterday on Friday and Saturday we continuing, and now he's going to pick his mom, and it will be three of us when he will join towards the end.
Yeah.
Every morning my father-in-law passes by bar and brings some fresh cornetos. Unfortunately, I'm on a diet, so it's for guys to enjoy. We have this little olive tree next to Ray's bed, which is covered already, so we covered a bit with the nets and we will have to pick just like standing on one side, manage a tree picking like that. In our garden there's always a challenges. Most of the olive trees on our land were planted by my father-in-law about 20 years ago. Back then there was no water source on the property, so he had to bring water in the big containers just to keep them alive. It was a lot of hard work, but he was committed. And now, after all these years, it's finally paying off. The trees have started producing better olives in the past couple of years, and it's amazing to see them thrive after all that dedication. It's really a labor of love, and each harvest feels like a small victory for a family. You can really see just how much he cares about every tree and every single olive. He's always picking stray leaves out of the harvest boxes, making sure only the olives are there. And he is so meticulous. He even picks up every olive that falls out of the net, like each one matters. It's his way of honoring the hard work he's put into these trees all these years. That's quite a lot of olives from one little tree. And they are quite ripe as well, and most likely it's because it was next to Ray's bed and got a bit more nutrients and water as well, so it produced quite well, this little tree. This year things are a bit different. The trees don't have as many olives, so the rhythm feels a bit off. It's a reminder of the difficult summer we just had, with the drought and all the challenges that came with it. Still, being out there, even with a light harvest, connects us to the land and reminds us why we put in all this effort.
Allora, qua possiamo raccogliere?
Se è finito, sì. Guardate.
And of course, for me, it's still a bit challenging to adjust to the Sicilian way of doing things. I see it as a job that needs to be done as soon as possible, but here, things work in a different way. Someone disappears to have a breakfast, there is a coffee break, random chat. It's just the way they do it. For them, it's not just to work, it's time to connect and enjoy the process. I'm learning to slow down, but it's definitely a work in progress.
Senza acqua, voi senza lamentare da sempre le piante, lo vuoi dire?
Io ho fatto ieri. Volentieri. Se vai scendi un po' di acqua.
Obviously, some of the trees have a few more olives, like this one. It's still quite difficult to pick because, like, you pick them almost one by one, and usually you just like brush the branch and you have a few handfuls. But we started to pick this one, and it's better than the other one, like than that one, but it's still not much. This old tree, which is like should be more than 100 years old, didn't produce much this year. What you see on the net is what you get this year. Just a few olives, and most of the trees are the same. It's like we don't even put two nets. It's just like, because there is most of the olives on one side, we put just a net on one side and we go one and one. Like you see, there are like just like a few of them hanging one by one. There is not nice big amount of olives that we can pick. Usually when there is not much, there are few trees that are full. This year we had one tree so far, and the rest is like this. You can hear a sound of machines that people have to pick olives, and we have these tools. Today it's 3 of us working on the olive picking. Me, my husband, and his dad. We're starting with this area today, and we have quite a lot. Probably we won't finish, but some trees are empty. Like this one, I don't see even one olive. This one is still young, but some young ones, they do have more. This one's been transplanted a while ago, so we don't have any. And the ones that have, the olives are just like, we will be picking them almost like one by one. I wanted to talk about the process of olive collection. Firstly, we use 2 nets to cover half of the area under a tree. It's important that these nets are bigger than the tree itself, so we can catch the olives that might try to escape. We start by covering one side and then move to another. These nets serve several purposes. They help catch the olives as they fall. This prevents bruising. Then it improves our efficiency in collecting them and ensures that nothing gets lost on the ground. We use our hands to collect our olives since we haven't yet harvested enough to invest in machinery. While it takes so much longer, this method is less damaging to the trees.
So the olive picking is also called in Sicilian sfilare le olive. Sfilare, it's a verb which I think in English it can be like brush off. So you get the branch, but it's difficult to find olives. Get the branch and you clean it and pull everything out. You carry on. It's a gentle movement, and yeah, now there's so many machines doing it, but the way we're doing is literally the most traditional old way to do it. So in 40 years of experience, well, of life, let's say, picking olives.
When did you start? 40 years when you were newborn?
I was very young actually. I was probably 10, just going there to play. So
in
30 years of picking, about in 40 years of life. And so we never had a year which was so bad. I mean, it was expected due to the drought, but I remember there were drought as well when I was kid. This is definitely the worst year ever. And we literally spend 5 minutes and waste 5 minutes on the tree because what we pick is really little. I mean, you can see. And back in the days, literally what we're doing now with the full production of olives, we used to do just with few trees. Even the way of growing the tree used to be different. Now we're pruning differently. So I don't know. But we'll see how it goes. So we wanted to move on because I mean it's a waste of time, but he's old school, so he doesn't even know even one olive.
So now you can see how the net helps to gather all of the olives that fallen. This method is much more efficient than picking them one by one. It allows us to collect a larger quantity in a shorter amount of time, making the entire process smoother and more effective.
It's hot.
It's very hot today. It's 11 o'clock.
The sun hitting our head.
Yeah,
Well,
usually.
it's like 12 o'clock now because the time changed just 2 days ago. So.
Yeah, so it's almost midday, and it's hot. At least I have shorts, you have long trousers. So.
Yeah, but better long trousers than mosquitoes.
We finished for today. We did more or less 10-12 trees probably. That's what we got. One box. That's the second box. And that's the third box. My father-in-law is coming to pick them up with the car. The fourth one is inside already. We finished for today. It's midday. We exhausted. We worked for like from 5 hours.
Yep.
And we're finishing for today. It's getting way too hot.
And it's been a poor day as well, so even motivation gets a little bit down. So we did what? How many trees?
We did 12 trees, I just counted, and we got 4 boxes.
Yeah, the fourth one is not even full. I mean.
Yeah, so it should be like around 100 kilos.
No, each
25
box,
kilos.
No, 20 kilos each
20.
box, yeah.
So 70
just above
something
70.
kilos. Yeah.
Yeah.
My father-in-law is coming to pick me up. Dogs are barking already. My husband is busy today picking veggies for cope, and it's gonna be 2 of us. He will later join us. The difference when you pick by hand, there are not many leaves. I'll show you in a minute the others when we pick with the machinery. That's obviously picked with the machinery. Quite a lot of leaves. First we start by weighing our olives. The box itself weighs 33 kilograms, so we have collected a total of 330 kilograms of olives. Next, we pour them into a large metal container with blades at the bottom that push the olives onto a conveyor belt. From there, the olives go through several stages. First, they are separated from the leaves. Unfortunately, I missed filming that part. Then they are washed and finally they are taken to the mill where they are ground for about an hour. This machine can process up to 6 people at once. In the last stage, the pulp is separated from the oil, and here it is, our fresh and vibrant olive oil. We were really happy with the result. We ended up with about 70 liters of oil, which is roughly a 20% yield per kilogram of olives.
So there is a tradition. As soon as the oil is ready, the new one, we gotta try. In Sicily we try with a bread which is specific from specifically made for this tradition, which is called muffoletta. In different town, different way of doing it. In some you can find also like a fennel seeds, but Brigitta doesn't like it, so we
No,
go
I
without.
don't.
So we traditionally should be just with mozzarella or with olive oil and ricotta, but tonight we have a craving, we have a garden full of beauty.
What about sugar?
Yeah, and sardines as well. Yeah, sardines definitely. But tonight we try differently, a little bit more.
We've been a bit
modern.
naughty and treating ourselves.
So we do olive oil, then we do one with mozzarella and one with palm, and then freshly picked from our garden, our new rocket salad and frills, mustard frills.
Yeah, lots of oil.
Yeah. So after doing that, you squeeze it so both sides gets
Absorbed well.
absorbed and soaked. Of course, it needs to be good. I mean, my wife likes mozzarella, therefore I am as well.
He just went to town to get it all. Such a good husband I have.
And,
Got me fresh mozzarella.
beautiful mozzarella.
I don't remember when we ate so well for a long time.
Come on.
No, we're eating well, but it's like it's
This
a
one
treat.
is a nasty way. It's a treat. I mean,
It's a good sandwich.
but this one is like a Michelin star sandwich, actually. I mean, if you go to a shop, you ask for this sandwich, you might actually pay, like almost 10 quid. I mean, there's lots of money for a sandwich, but we don't pay that much. So Parman, one for my wife first. Well, you can't see that. She likes when I first slice, she's eat it, and then.
That looks super delicious.
And my one will be
You're
mortadella.
having mortadella.
I'm a big fan of mortadella. If somebody doesn't know it, probably the best meat ever. Especially, it's so good when it's freshly sliced. After a couple of days, start losing it.
Yeah, I just eat on the first day, then I don't
mix
like.
both of them for you.
I think I'm just gonna try with the frills first.
Frills?
Yeah.
Why no rocket? You have a parma in there.
Might be a bit too strong for me for.
Okay, so frills.
I want a bit more delicate flavor first. That's a whole salad. That's why we say a Sicilian cuisine is the best. I mean, it's a simple sandwich with a couple of ingredients, but ingredients are really good.
I mean, the rocket I just picked is the first harvest of rocket salad.
Yeah, this is like a wild salad, wild rocket. It's a bit different, the leaves.
No, it's not a wild one. It's the coltivata.
A coltivata.
Yeah, it's different than the wild one, which is the one that everybody has at the supermarket, actually.
This is the for growing. The other is for a wild one usually.
Yeah, while I was speaking, it was smelling so good. So then you try to close it. So it's closed. I already put the pepper at the bottom, so yes, peppers and.
And I think that's it for this week. We have to go and eat now.
Yeah, because we're starving.
We just finished working.
And that's the one for my wife.
Yes.
And that's mine. I mean, 3 ingredients, 4 olive oil. The best. You don't need much to have a fantastic sandwich.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Ciao.